Tell me how you feeling. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope y'all can see me. Connection is good. I'm gonna wait for everybody to get up in here because I have a really video that's gonna break down some shit for y'all. And I have all the video references in the link below. I mean, the description box below, so that way you guys can do your own research. I really want it to be like I'm providing the information, but you're also doing your own research. My bad that I was a little late to the live, y'all. I literally had to put all the videos in the link below, and I even found an article with Google. I included all the information, you guys. I would definitely highly suggest that you watch that entire, like, watch all the videos in the link below. Your mind will be blown. This is where I pulled the source of the information from. I'm also going to be using movies with Donnie Darko, The Truman Show, Back to the Future, even iRobot is going to be referenced in my notes. What's up, Peenan? So first and foremost, I just want to say what's up, y'all. Happy Libra new moon. What's going on, y'all? Shouts to all my Libras, gang, squadron. All right, I got a little phone call, but I also want to say, what's up, Jocelyn? I also want to say that you give this video a huge thumbs up, and that you definitely share this video with your friends. What's up, Karma Bruja? What's up, my little baby love? You guys, this video is going to blow your fucking mind. Like, I did research like a fucking mad scientist, trying to provide all the facts and the evidence. And honestly, I cracked the fucking code with this one. I cracked the code. So y'all give me a thumbs up. Share this video with your friends who are interested in this type of stuff. This is going to blow your mind. All right. So I'm just going to start off by saying some of the stuff that I'm going to say in this video is very out there. However, I have proof. I have information to back it up. I will be using movie references, but we all know that they hide the truth in plain sight, and truth is stranger than fiction. So, for some of you guys, you're like, what is a parallel universe? What is it? Well, a parallel universe is basically a universe like, think about if you had a twin, a long lost twin that you never knew existed, and they lived on the other side of the world, right? That would be like a parallel universe. It's a universe that almost is identical to ours, but there's some differences. I'm gonna go into explaining this. So I got some notes, y'all. I took notes, okay? So, also I want to let you guys know I'm going to be spoiling the movie. So Donnie Darko, I'm going to spoil that movie. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out, even though I'm going to spoil it. The Truman Show, I'm going to kind of spoil it a little bit, but not too much. Back to the Future, I'm just using that as a reference. So I'm going to prove to you in this video, this is my hypothesis, that we are in a simulation with parallel universes, that we can time travel, and that this whole thing that we see is one big stage play. And I'm going to prove to you in this video that what I'm saying is accurate by using references from movies, using YouTube videos, and also using this Google this article I found in Google. All right, so that's how I'm going to prove this to you. And I'm also going to prove to you that basically, like I said, it's one big play. So let's get started. All right, so my theory is that 2020 was a tangent universe. So what is a tangent universe? We're going to go ahead and to look into the Donnie Darko information. So Donnie Darko is basically a movie about a boy that he's a teenage boy, and he ends up in a tangent universe through a series of events. I'm going to explain how he ends up in the tangent universe and what it takes to get into the tangent universe. And so he's basically in the tangent universe that's about to collapse on itself. He has to save the primary universe, which is basically okay, we're going to explain it. So the primary universe, this is the one that we normally exist on. So this, we could consider this a primary universe. It's where your friends and family are. It's where just a primary universe. It's the original universe. Now the tangent universe is a disruption caused to the primary, but it's unstable, and if it collapses on itself, it creates a black hole into the primary universe and could destroy it. So this, I'm going to prove to you in this video that we've basically almost been destroyed multiple times. I'm going to also prove to you in this video that the whole entire earth, the whole entire world as we know it in the simulation resets itself through and I'll give you some proof about that as well. So let's say we're in the primary universe, right? And the tangent universe is created. It's not very specific how the tangent universe, what's up, Davida? It's not very specific how the tangent universe is created. However, what I have found through my research is that CERN opening wormholes is how the tangent universe was created for all those other times, right? So when we think about Y2K, they were obviously doing experiments and things like that before they openly told us. If you don't know what CERN is, there's videos in the description box below. But CERN opens wormholes. They were trying to create black holes and God particles, smashing particles together to create a wormhole so that they could time travel or open portals for other things to come through. So that's how the tangent universe was created. I don't know if you guys remember in 2008, CERN had an explosion. Their God particle machine exploded because um, they were trying to um, basically like a head-on collision to two particles. They were trying to throw particles at each other so that it created a spark, which they wanted to call was the guard particle, but it wasn't. All right, so that's what's happening. And also in the movie Donnie Darko, basically how you know that you're in a tangent universe is that there's an artifact. It's something that triggers or signals the tangent. It lets you know that the tangent universe has been created, and it's also made of metal. In the movie Donnie Darko, the artifact was a jet engine that fell from a plane, and they could not find where the plane was. They couldn't find where the plane was because it was duplicated. All right. So there's also videos below as well of the 11 glitches in the Matrix is proof of duplicate. So in one of the videos, it shows that this girl had gotten her nails done and her sister did her nails. She customized it and she found one of the nails, but the girl had all her nails on her fingers and she didn't have extras. Also, the duplicate, there was another example in the 11 glitches. Just watch all those videos. And the 11 glitches that show that we're in a simulation, there was a woman who had an IKEA dresser drawer, and she had two drawers, and she used one for her hair products. Well, she showed us that there was a drawer that she had open. Like she takes the drawer out, uses it in the bathroom for her hair products. But then when she goes back into her room, both drawers are still there. Tangent freaking universe. So the artifact is something that is made of metal. Now, how I can prove that? Yes, you saw that nail video, Monet. Thank you. Now, how I can prove that we entered into a tangent universe in 2020, I don't know if any of you guys remember that monolith that was found in the Utah desert. It was a monolith, just like a piece of steel, metal, whatever, right? And everybody was like, "Where did this come from?" That information is in the description box below. If you scroll all the way down, the article is there, so you can. All of this is provable. Okay, so that tells us that we're in a tangent universe. That monolith was there. Now, when the tangent universe has closed out successfully, not creating a black hole, the artifact will disappear. So y'all also will see that the monolith that was found, I don't know if you guys remember, it was found in the desert in Utah, and people were like, "How the hell? Where did this come from?" People were saying that, oh, it was an artist that did it, but nobody came forth to claim that it was their artwork, and then it disappeared 24 hours later. Now, the 24 hours is explainable by if we're in a tangent universe, time in the tangent universe is different than time in the primary universe. So it could have been 24 days, it could have been a year that was there in the tangent universe, but it disappeared in 24 hours in the primary. Okay, so just stay with me, y'all. That's what I was saying, that the monolith was found. It was found on November 18th and gone 24 hours later. So that's what I was saying. Now, the artifact does need to be returned to the primary universe in order to safely collapse. Basically, like I said, if a duplicate is created, like the video of the girl with the nails, then it has to be returned back to the primary universe. So, when the primary universe is no longer in danger, it returns to normal. However, there's okay. So in the movie Donnie Darko, there was a book, the philosophy of time travel, was a book that he received in the movie. It showed him how to time travel, but it also gave a breakdown. So in the tangent universe, there's the manipulated dead and there's the living dead. The living dead are the ones that could have died in the tangent universe. The manipulated dead are the ones that are guiding the living receiver. The living receiver is somebody that is up to them to return the artifact and save the primary universe. We're all their family, friends. Now, the living receiver, I wouldn't say is one person in this case of describing that we were in a tangent universe in 2020. The living receiver could have been many of us. And so basically, we have the living dead, the manipulated dead, and the living receiver. Okay, so the living receiver is the one that saves the primary universe. The living receiver can sacrifice themselves, or the living receiver can go and live back in the primary universe after collapsing the tangent universe. However, they may be considered as crazy. All right, and that is demonstrated in the movie Donnie Darko by Grandma Death, aka Roberta Sparrow, who wrote the book Time Travel, The Philosophy of Time Travel. This is a book in the movie. It's not a real book, or it could be, but they're not telling us. It's a pseudo name. Okay. So basically, the living dead in the previous tangent universe wake up in the primary universe once the tangent has been collapsed. They wake up in the primary universe feeling as though like they can feel they have memories of something that happened, but um, they're not really able to recall it. Now, this is where I'm going to bring up the Mandela effect because that also, if y'all don't know about the Mandela effect, I'm about to explain it to you in a minute. So I just want y'all to keep up with me, all right? Keep up with me. So basically, the manipulated dead are the ones in the tangent universe that are guiding the living receiver to save the primary universe. So you could say that these are like guides or guardians or angels. They may not know that they are helping to save the primary universe. The living dead are going to be the ones that died in the tangent universe but are alive in the primary universe. Okay? So basically the manipulated dead are the ones that are guiding the living receiver, and the living dead are just the ones that are in the tangent universe. They have died in the tangent universe. Okay? They are still alive in the primary universe. Keep up, keep up. All right, so they don't really have memories, or it's an erased memory. That brings into the Mandela effect. So what the Mandela effect is basically the theory that we have jumped timelines, or we have entered into a parallel universe. As you recall, right? And this is how you can also indicate that we are living in a parallel universe, that this is a simulation, is because every 6 to 12 years, it seems, I could be a little off on the years, but it seems that every 6 to 12 years, they're telling us that the world's going to end. We heard it in Y2K, so that was 2000. Then we heard it in 2012, right? That the world was going to end. What if the world did end as we knew it and a new world began? What if the tangent universe collapsed and we went back to our primary? Again, with the references I have from the movie, the manipulated dead and the living dead come back to the primary with no memory of what happened in the tangent universe because they died in the tangent universe. You get me? So basically, what if the Mandela effect is really the collapse of the tangent universe that we lived in? So there's also a video below. It says, what's the name of the video? Um, it's 5 people who discovered we're in a simulation. Okay, so I'll give you an example of that, what that looks like. So in the tangent universe, when you die, you go back to the primary, right? So in that video, there was a description of a man who had gotten into a near fatal accident, like almost died. I think it was like a man who was driving and there was snow on the ground and he crashed. He said that he ended up outside of the car. He doesn't remember how he got outside of the car, and his friend was also in the car. They both ended up outside of the car. When the emergency ambulance and the fire department got to the scene, they looked at his car and said, "You should have been dead." So he's thankful for his life. He has an apartment with his girlfriend. He goes back to the apartment with his girlfriend, and he realizes that something is very, very different in this apartment. He's looking around and he sees that the TV that she has is not the same TV that he remembers from before the accident. He remembers that she had one of those old school TVs, the wide ones with the box in the back. He remembers that she had a wide TV with the box in the back, one of the old school ones. When he comes to her house, he sees that she has a flat screen TV plastered on the wall. And he's like, "When did you get a new TV?" She tells him, "I've always had this TV." Yeah, the big back. Yeah, yep, the big back TV. Thank you, Monet. She goes, "I've always had this TV. What do you mean?" So when it comes to near death experiences, exactly, jump the timelines. Exactly. So that's what I also want to tie into. If you've had a near death experience, you may come back with powers. In the tangent universe for Donnie Darko, the living receiver has fourth dimensional powers, telepathy, ability to have super strength and move things with their mind. However, what I don't think that they touched on in the movie was that when you come back from the tangent universe, you still have those powers in the primary universe. So he had the ability to remember the old timeline. She said that it never happened. Ironically, she almost suffered a near death experience where she started like hemorrhaging, and they were in Italy and she almost died. Okay, she goes to the hospital. They tell the husband, if you had not gotten her to this hospital in enough time, she would have died. So she goes through the operation. She comes back and she's asking her husband, "Where's the fire hydrant that we specifically put in our house?" He goes, "What fire hydrant?" She says, "There was a fire hydrant that was supposed to be there. We even built like a shelf for it to sit in." She goes back to the corner. There's no shelf, no fire hydrant. Okay, so this is the effects of collapsing the tangent universe and going back to the primary. Some people, if they are a living receiver, will remember the memories, aka Grandma Death in the movie Donnie Darko. Except she turns crazy in the movie because she has all the memories of the last tangent universe that was open that she closed out. Hence her making the philosophy of time travel. Okay, so stay with me, you guys. Basically, the living receiver, like I said, will remember not the living dead or the manipulated dead. They'd have an idea during the tangent, but not after. So the manipulated dead would have an idea of who the living receiver is and the fact that they're in a tangent universe. But once they come back into the primary, they don't remember. Now, in the movie Donnie Darko, it does describe that they may have dreams of that tangent universe. So then that goes to say that our dreams are also tied into other parallel realities. All right. So that's the like I said, the man with the who had the near death experience, his TV changes. And also there's another example in the five people who discovered we're in a simulation video where there's a couple that's on lockdown, and that's what I'm saying. There was a tangent universe in 2020. This couple was on lockdown together. One of the guy was working from home, and I believe the girl was going to school. All of a sudden, this guy knows this woman in and out, that she likes this, she doesn't like that. All of a sudden, her likes start to change. She didn't used to like eating sweets, and now she's eating sweets. And he's asking her like, "Hey, I thought you said that you didn't like eating sweets." And she goes, "I never said that." Then she goes forward to ask him, "Hey, tell your friend Larry at work that I said hi." And he says, "I don't know a Larry." Okay, so the tangent universe opened and closed. Okay, in 2020 is what I'm trying to say. And like I said, this definitely explains the Mandela effect. All right, so let's go into more of that energy. So, like I said, the manipulated dead can guide the living receiver to close the tangent universe. So, it's not like they can tell them that there's a tangent universe, you need to close it, but their other parallel universe self will guide them, give them clues, and the living receiver has to wake up and say, "We need to close the tangent universe." All right, so it's almost like an initiation. Also, there's the theory that I have as well when it comes to your intuition and how that ties into parallel universes as well. I believe that the ancestors, so people that, worship their ancestors and venerate them, they are past versions of you that are giving you information from the past so that you can change the present moment, which will change the future. And then also, your 5D self, which is your future self, also sends you messages intuitively from the future back into the past, which would be the present moment. Yes, like Avatar, exactly. Like Avatar. So basically, you have past versions of you and future versions of you that will send you telepathic messages, aka intuition, that will help you to basically change the future. Okay, so this is we're gonna get into the Back to the Future energy as well. We're gonna get into the Back to the Future energy, but we're first gonna kind of basically describe why 2020 was a tangent universe. Okay, so like I said, the manipulated and living dead may only remember erased memories in their dream or in the tangent universe, but they may not be fully aware of that. All right, so in 2020, I remember people talking about their dreams and how they were like sleeping more. And I don't know if you guys remember, but in 2020, I remember that people were saying that they were sleeping more, they were having more weird dreams, things of that nature. Some people actually do not remember past 2020. So, or before 2020. So I've talked to people that said that they don't remember before 2020. It's like all a blur. They don't remember 2019, 2018. Okay, so then that tells you who they are. They are either the manipulated or living dead. Only the living receivers will remember before 2020. But I remember that people were sleeping more, dreaming more. But also, like I said, many people don't report that they don't remember details from 2020. It felt like a bad dream, aka the tangent universe. All right. In Donnie Darko, there's a scene that says, "They made me do it." And this is never directly addressed in the movie. However, this does bring me into the energy of otherworldly beings. And what I have a belief in, that some of the otherworldly beings that we call aliens are advanced beings. Like basically, okay, think about humanity like this. This is humanity. This is the collective of humanity. And this is Earth. Think about the tangent universe splitting. So now we have two collectives of humanity. We have humanity A and humanity B. Let's say humanity B keeps evolving, and humanity A just stays the same. There's been a tangent, a parallel universe where our human collective consciousness has elevated into advanced beings, aka aliens that we say or see or describe as. Okay, but that's not going to be for all beings because not all alien races are positive. Some of them have descended. Okay, so some of them have separated from the human collective and have descended, where others separated and ascended. So in the movie, it's not ever really addressed, but there is a scene that says they made me do it, implying there were other advanced beings involved. It's never directly addressed though. The tangent universe signifies time travel. So we're going to break down Back to the Future because that movie is also going to give us some context into time travel and parallel universes. Basically, aliens or advanced beings are already, basically, there are future versions of us that have separated into a tangent universe or a parallel universe and have advanced. Okay, so now they're interacting with us to help us to advance as well, so we can meet them in their timeline. Okay, and basically, your intuition is just a channel of communication we have with them, aka us. Hence, Back to the Future. I don't know if you guys understood in the Back to the Future movie, Marty, the scientist, the weird, crazy guy, and Marty were the same people. They were the same people. He was the scientist from the future. He came back to the past to get Marty to elevate his timeline so that he could actually become and be where he was supposed to be. So it's about matching the frequency of the timeline. So let's talk about some time traveling. It's always been said and demonstrated that you aren't supposed to change anything in the past because it could drastically change the future. And you aren't supposed to make direct contact with your past self or your future self, or else it creates an alternate slash tangent universe or reality. So the Back to the Future alternate reality video is below and basically describes that. The scientist is telling Marty that they're in an alternate version of 1985 because one of Marty's peers went back in time with a future artifact, went back in time and was able to accurately, like they were doing like a racehorse thing. He was able to make all the predictions of who was going to win the race, making him a millionaire and making him more money. However, it created an alternate timeline because that wasn't what was supposed to happen. He was not supposed to have that information from the future. So it created an alternate timeline, which means that it started to change the events of the original 1985. Keep up with me, y'all. This is some real good shit. All right, so how do you travel in time in the first place? Basically, you need a wormhole and a metal vessel to go to the future or the past. And it is also said that water is also a conduit for you to travel in time. Now, we know that there's water in the air, there's water particles everywhere. So the water isn't necessarily something that you have to conjure up. It's actually all around us. And I will get into another theory. I'm going to make a part 2 of this video because I have a theory that the earth, what we think is outer space, is really just surrounded by water. It's going to get real freaky, y'all. Okay. Also, I want to let you guys know too. Side note, I know this is a lot of information. If you guys have any questions, leave those questions in live or in the chat below in the comment section if you guys are not fully with me on this. But go ahead and give me a thumbs up and share this video with your friends because it is going to get real. I hope that I'm not talking too fast and I hope that I'm not confusing you guys. But definitely check out the movies, Donnie Darko. Check out the movie Back to the Future 2. Check out The Truman Show. I'm going to be referencing that movie as well and iRobot because that's going to tie in. What's up, Alicia? All right, so what I've been getting this huge download all year. The sky is the sea is the sky. Exactly. This is what I'm about to get. This is what I'm about to get into. All right. So you know how you go to the airport, right? And you go in the airplane and you fly in the air. What is a plane? Just like the astral plane, a plane is just a layer of existence. What is the airport really in its full context? The airport is an air portal. Just a side note for y'all. So, I'm going to let you know about CERN again because we're going to bring up that energy. This is in regards to time travel. So, remember when they casually let us know that they were trying to crash two particles together using CERN? What if that was to create the wormhole that puts us into the tangent universe? Again, like I said, Y2K is also a tangent universe as well, simply because, the world was supposed to end, but really it reset. Thank you, Davita. But really it reset. So CERN has probably been around way before they publicly let us know, meaning Y2K could have been a part of CERN experiment, as well as 2012 and 2020. Okay. In order to get a machine through, they had to intentionally create a tangent universe by opening a wormhole. We heard about CERN in, I believe, what? We heard about it in 2008, and then it resurged back in either 2015, 2016, or 2017. There's a video below as well that talks about CERN creating black holes to find the God particle. Um, and I'm going to give you guys a side note as well. So, Y2K, which is 2000, was when they said the world was going to end. The year after that was when the World Trade Center was the plane crashed into the World Trade Center. But another thing that was interesting was that there was a lot of things about airplanes, like Aaliyah passed away during her flight, right? So that's just one thing. But I'm not going to say the name, but the pandemic that happened in 2019 points back to 2001, a year after the tangent reality, which was Y2K. 19 years after 2001 is 2020, another tangent universe. Okay. But in between that, there was 2012 as well. 2012 is approximately 11 years later, was the second end of the world. Could this be a battle of realities? Why does the world keep ending? Why do we keep going back into tangent universes? It almost seems to me like we are supposed to be elevating and advancing, but somehow we keep going into a time loop, is what I'm getting. All right. As you will see in the Back to the Future clip, they had to figure out how to interject an alternate reality that was intentionally tampered with and created. Could this be the case now? Hey, Riri. In the video, they wanted to find extra dimensions. So, in the black hole video that CERN that talks about CERN, a factory reset. Exactly, Monet. Yes, a factory reset. We keep being factory reset. It almost feels as though some of it is to avoid apocalyptic timelines, but another part of it almost seems to be that we're not supposed to advance or somebody doesn't want us to advance. Remember back when we were younger, we thought that 2020 was going to be the year that we would have flying cars and we would be more advanced. It seems as though we should be more advanced than what we are right now, which makes me believe that we're in a time loop. Okay. In the video, black holes, CERN creating black holes to find the God particle, they specifically said that they wanted to find extra dimensions. They wanted to find subdimensions. But how would they go to these if not time traveling or creating a tangent universe? You can't find an extra dimension unless you create a wormhole or a rip in the current reality. Okay. Now, I'm going to also give you some examples of what I'm talking about. There is videos below in the description box. You guys really will want to look into the description box. It has amazing resources for videos. I did a lot of research on this. But there were videos in California, if you remember, I believe it was in 2016, about 3 years ago, 2016, 2018, one of those, that there was wormholes opening in the sky. They called it SpaceX, but I don't believe that it was SpaceX. It was able to be seen all the way from Southern California all the way to places like Chico, California. At that time, that's where I was living. It was a literal wormhole opening in the sky. I have two videos. I have one video from California, somebody that saw it, and a video from Arizona where a news reporter saw it. Now, the thing that I want to say is if this was a military experiment or SpaceX, why wouldn't they alert the news station of what was happening to create a calm instead of mass hysteria? Now, nobody really went into mass hysteria, but there was a large question in mind about what this was opening in the sky. And those videos are below as well in the description box. Wouldn't they let the news stations know, hey, we're going to be doing a SpaceX experiment so that people don't go into mass hysteria, let them know what's going on? Instead, they covered it up and said it was SpaceX. All right. And then there's a third video from Norway, which was, I believe, 6 years ago. And that was where a huge spiral opened up in the sky. Now, if I'm correct, CERN is located in Switzerland, which may not be too far from Norway. And 2008 was when their machine, the CERN machine, exploded. Then we see a video in Norway where there's literally a spiral opening up in the sky. Now, of course, the officials and government people and institutions told them, "Oh, you have nothing to worry about. That's nothing, right?" But we have to kind of do a little bit more investigating. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and wow, they have a CERN in Texas too. They claim it's not active. Interesting. That's very interesting. We're gonna get into some more energy here with this time traveling. So now, we also have a video that I would love for you guys to check out as well. It's called Top 5 Truman Show Hidden Secrets. That's going to be a good video to check out as well. But this begs the question, if there's life out there and possibly military intel about this, then why not let people know? And this brings me to my last movie reference, The Truman Show. The Truman Show is letting us know that everything is staged and that there are people that know that we're in parallel universes. They know about the primary universe and they have a dark agenda about this. So it really is a battle of realities. I believe that there's advanced beings, which is us, that want to advance us. They want us to get out of this time loop. And then there are also descended beings that want to control the timelines so that we're stuck and we don't get out of this time loop. All right, so let's go ahead and get into that. The Truman Show. What if there are those among us that know this is all one big movie or TV show called Earth? In order to break that down, this next part will talk about alien species, Masons, and the 13 families that control and monopolize the Earth, as well as Elon Musk's mission to take one-way trip to Mars. Why would you want to take a one-way trip to Mars unless you knew that something was going to come to the Earth or that something was going to come through the Earth? Okay? We're going to talk about numerology for a second. And this could give us some context clues about what is going on now and possibly what will be going on in 2022. So, Y2K, if we add all the numbers together, it equals the number 2. 2012 equals the number 5, and that's the number of change. The number 2 is the number of balance and harmony. Number 5 is the number of change. Now, 2020 was equaled up to the number 4. That's the number of stabilization. But 2021 is also acting to the number 5 again. So, same, like basically, possibly what we experienced in 2012 could be what we're experiencing in 2021 as well. We see actions are taken during the 3 years, aka 2001. So, actions are taken during the year 2001. And 2019 also breaks down to the year 3. These are when actions are taken, these are when things are being implemented. If we're going based off numbers, the year 2021 equals the year of 6. So far, we have the number 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 6 coming after a 5 year, which symbolizes change. 2 years talks about balance. 3 years allude to trimensional energy coming outside of the past, present, and future. And meaning this is when alternates can be created or timelines can be rearranged. 4s are the foundations of whatever was created being set, and 5s are the year of change. We can enter into parallels from here. Stay tuned for my other part 2 of 2022 prediction video based on numerology, but we'll get back to the last movie reference. So the Truman Show talks about a man adopted by a corporation that creates a false world that basically everybody else is in on except the main character, which is Truman. The director is a man named Christopher who has constructed this reality. Okay. Now it's interesting because if you watch the Top 5 Truman Show Hidden Secret Messages, the name Christopher alludes to Christ. Okay. And that insertion of our reality of who Christ is versus who Christ really was. Right. Stay tuned, y'all. Don't lose it. Stay with me. Stay with me. It is my personal belief. So, this boy named Truman, he gets adopted by a corporation. They decide to not tell him that he was adopted and to basically fabricate a whole entire world around him until he starts to realize that something isn't right. It's my personal belief that Truman represents the average. What's up, Aisha? It is my personal belief that Truman represents the average unawakened being, aka the sleepers. Initially, the Truman Show um, Initially, the Truman Show walks the newer into the esoteric journey of awakening. Oh, it walks the viewer into the esoteric journey of awakening one's mind to the truth in the falsehood, basically the false world, aka the stage play, which is what we're all doing. We're in a stage play right now. things are rigged. And I'll tell you how things are rigged. Because it's not just like a illusionary thing. There is an actual construct, basically a game plan. Okay. As we all know, the USA is the land of the free, right? And the capital of the American dream. But you have to be asleep to believe that that's real. When you wake up, you start to see the powers that be. Instead of the democracy, we've been led like sheep. So instead of like living in democracy, we've actually been led like sheep into corporate globalization, which means that corporate entities can actually call themselves people or individuals now. So it kind of blurs the line between who's who and what's what, right? So basically, corporations can lobby policymakers and are considered people. Hence, in The Truman Show, he was adopted by a corporation. But if you think about it as not just The Truman Show, think about it as us being adopted by a corporation and the corporations falsifying the world around us to create the stage play. So they're setting things up. They're setting the world up as a reality TV show. Think about it. The microcosm show like Big Brother or other reality TV shows like Flavor of Love, back in the day, all those things, all these reality TV shows, it's kind of giving us a glimpse of how those corporations see us, okay? By the way, The Truman Show was released after 1995, right before 2000, Y2K. The old world was about to die anyways and be reset with reality TV. That's why we saw a reset and replacement of positive TV shows like Family Matters, Full House, and My Wife and Kids. We suddenly jumped from that to VH1 Flavor of Love, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and The Real World. Even pop culture music like R&B and hip hop changed. Conscious rappers like the group Gang Starr, MF Doom, and Tupac were replaced with rappers, aka rappers, like NWA, or later on as we see Chief Keef and the Youngs and the Littles, right? Why does this matter? Major record labels and executive producers were pushed a specific narrative. They were told to push a specific narrative on certain music to influence the worldview. And who was telling them to do this? Major corporations that would profit from inaccurate depictions of urban people. So there was major corporations that said, "Hey, we need you to push an agenda that these certain people do this, they do that, right?" So that way they could insert that false reality into the world to make money, aka the private prison industrial complex. And this isn't just with that, this is with other things as well. Entities like I said, the private prison industrial complex, which is for profit and contribute to the basic modern day slavery. You need to think about it. The 13th Amendment gives them a loophole to basically continue slavery because if you're incarcerated, you can't vote anymore, which means that you don't. It's not for the people by the people. You can't vote anymore, so your vote is taken out. Exactly, the new slaves. And then after that, it's like you also basically they have free labor. The people in prisons are actually contributing to companies like J.C. Penney's, Victoria's Secret for free labor. They're manufacturing their products for free. Modern day slavery, okay? So, like I said, they make prisoners labor to supply manufacturing assembly members for who? Major businesses and corporations. So, basically, the major businesses and corporations will push an agenda or have record labels and producers and execs push an agenda to basically bring the money back to them, is what I'm saying. Also, Walmart can be one of the companies as well. If you don't believe me, do your research on the 13th Amendment. There's also a documentary on Netflix, or it was on Netflix, called The 13th Amendment. It's all rigged. So why does this matter, and how do the 13 families control the world? The head CEOs and even private investors to these major corporations are all related in some way or another to the 13 families. And I'm not going to say exactly who those 13 families are because you need to do your research. Now, what do the Masons have to do with this? The Masons, the Knight Templars, and other societies, although different sects, have one true goal in common, and that's being the chess pieces for these families. By infiltrating the government, the education system, and various other fundamental structures of our reality and our society. All right? Remember how I talked about different alien species, how they were advanced beings? Well, guess what? These are who the 13 families have made alliances with, and some of them are those other alien species that are descended and want to control the earth. So these are not the kind that want to assist the human collective in evolving. These are the reptilians and draconians who want to enslave humanity and take over the world. There's a side note. Not all reptilians or draconians are think like this, but that's another topic for another day. We'll get into the different alien races another time, and I'm going to make a part 2 video of this as well. What if I told you that some of the world's leaders you will never hear about are really shapeshifters? It sounds out there. However, did you know that every single US president except for one is all related? How ironic is that? There's also a video below that a 12-year-old girl basically does a project on her ancestry and ends up finding out that all the US presidents except one is related to, I believe his name was the king, he was the king of England. You've had dreams of him? Yeah, they're real. So even Obama was related. The King of England is, I believe, John Lackland, but you can do that research as well. And he was signed the Magna Carta. This will indicate we are truly under a monarchy disguised as a democracy. Only one president wasn't related, as I said. Are the 13 families starting to make sense now? So this is the last point. And that point is, why does Elon Musk insist on leaving Earth specifically to go to Mars? All right. What does he know that we don't? All I have to say is transhumanism. Remember the movie I, Robot? That's what happens when the powers that be play God to the detriment of the civilization. AI is a part of the puppeteering. For the meantime, it seems convenient. In the long run, this blasphemy and mockery of God, source's creation, which is the true human. So they're mocking humans by creating these mechanical humans that they're trying to enslave, which will eventually enslave humanity. Whew. Basically, they will attempt to override its natural inhabitant counterparts. And this also goes into the Tesla bot that's coming out. That video is also below. So why does Elon Musk want to go to Mars? Could he know the plans for mass depopulation by the powers that be? Don't believe me? Just check out the last link. The Gregorian, or actually not the Gregorian, the Georgia Guidestones. That can tell you enough. I said Gregorian for a reason, so the Gregorian calendar is obviously false. But the Georgia Guidestones tell you their plans to depopulate the world. Before closing out, I just want to say that truth is far more stranger than fiction. So stay diligent and sovereign in your search to find the truth, and always double check what you hear. Part 2 is going to be coming soon, you guys. If you have any questions, I'm definitely here to answer those questions for you. But I hope that I was able to break this down, how it goes from parallel universes to time traveling into the stage play that we see as this world. This was incredible, Kay. Thank you, Monet. I appreciate it. I just kind of channeled all this information. I just started like wanting to know more, and then I started putting certain videos together. And I'm telling you, when you look at the description box below, it has all the videos and the article of the monolith, which is the artifact as it talks about in the movie Donnie Darko, to prove what I'm saying. So I have verification of this. I mean, you guys, I definitely want you to do your own research, but I definitely also want you all to know that the truth is stranger than fiction. Things that you think are not true really are true, and they hide the truth in movies in plain sight. These people that control the stage play and run the show, apparently, they send each other messages through these movies to mock us because we don't see the truth. So it's kind of like they're saying like, well, you can't say I didn't warn you because we showed you, but you didn't have the intelligence to believe it. Also, with these shapeshifters, reptilians, and draconians, they despise humans. They think that we are imbeciles. So that's why it would describe that they would put these messages in movies to communicate, basically making fun of humans to each other. All right. I'm going to do another video on the year 2022, alien races, and Hollywood, definitely later at a later time. But I hope that this information has helped you all for now. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email me at kayluv1133@gmail.com. I really hope that I've assisted you guys. Please do your research. I don't want you to just take what I'm saying for face value. Do your own research to make sure that you understand what I'm saying and that you can tie it in for your own good, all right? So I appreciate you guys for watching. It's your girl, Kayla K, aka K Love, your celestial empress. Thank you so much for watching this video. And subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the post notification bell. And like I said, if you want to email me, go ahead and email me. Thank you, Monet. Appreciate you guys, and I'll talk to you all later. Bye.